Hey everyone, so today we're taking a look at 4 platforms for unusual options order flow. These are designed to give you a look at what institutional investors and insiders are trading through options. So basically, a peek into where they think the market is going and what stocks you should be watching. I'm not going to dive a ton into how to use unusual options order flow in this video, but in each of my component reviews for each of these platforms, I talk a bit more about how you can use it in your trading. So with that, let's dive in. I'm going to cover insider finance, option strat, Bullflow, and unusual whales. So I want to start off talking about insider finance. This is an advanced platform with quite a few features, including data for cryptocurrencies and Forex. I'm going to really focus on the unusual options order flow features of this platform. So in the main dashboard of insider finance, we can see there's a couple different data feeds. So here we have Smart Market Insight by ticker. This is aggregating all of the unusual options data for tickers that are experiencing multiple unusual options order trades, usually high out of the money or very aggressive sweep trades. So these are going to be basically your idea generation feed. So tickers that are experiencing the most unusual activity. Under real-time option flow, you can get a list of unusual options trades as they come in, and they're scored with this heat score. So this is Insider Finance's proprietary algorithm to kind of help you decide which of these trades are most worth paying attention to. You can actually make either of these feeds bigger just by using the toggle here. So the dashboard isn't super customizable, but it is nice that you can make these tables a little bit bigger if you want to focus on one or the other. The other feed here is the dark pool prints feed. This is looking at large orders off of the main exchanges. This is usually reflective institutional activity. Be a little careful monitoring dark pool prints here because they can be aggregated from trades that happened as long as a few days ago. So this is not necessarily real-time activity. The other thing you have in this dashboard is the ability to look at charts within here of just different metrics related to unusual options order flow. So you can look at unusual out of the money options and the tickers that are experiencing the most action there. You can also look at unusual premiums and see how much money is putting into premiums for various tickers. You can also change the layout of the dashboard as well. So Insider Finance has news feed, as well as even trading signals and information about top moving stocks based on underlying tickers. So a really helpful dashboard here. Again, I would emphasize this Smart Market Insight by ticker. This is one of the best features in the platform because it's going to let you quickly find ideas for tickers that are experiencing highly unusual out of the money options trades, as well as big sweeps across multiple exchanges. The other feature with Insider Finance I want to show you is this top tickers list. This is similar to that Smart Market Insights list, but it allows you to dive into the individual trades for tickers that are experiencing unusual options order activity. So here we can see we're looking by unusual out of the money percentage, and you can see for these tickers, they tend to have a large number of big options trades that are being rated with a pretty high heat score by Insider Finance's algorithm. And what I like is you can actually look at in a little bit more detail at each of these tickers, looking at volume or premiums over time, over the last few days. You can just give you a sense of how things are changing in the market. Maybe there's a catalyst around one of these stocks. You can even look at news if you dive into Insider Finance's individual ticker research. So this is basically focusing on one ticker, giving you a dashboard similar to the main dashboard, but really focusing in on a single stock. One thing I like here that I'll point out real quick is that you can actually pull up TradingView charts within Insider Finance. This is really helpful if you want to go from an unusual options order to analysis really quickly. You don't have to switch platforms, and that's not true of most of the other platforms I'm going to show you today. So just to jump back to that top tickers feed, I'll show you, you can also look at top tickers by momentum. So this is volume based as well as sweeps. So these are tickers that are seeing sweep activity, trades across multiple exchanges, generally a pretty aggressive way to get into an options position for institutions. So like I said earlier, there's a lot more to Insider Finance, including cryptocurrency and Forex research, stock news, and information about insider and congressional trading. I'm not going to get into those today, but this is a pretty powerful platform, and I really like the unusual options order flow feed here. It just has a ton of information, and that proprietary heat score lets you know what you should be focusing on. The other thing that I really like about Insider Finance is that it's actually not ultra expensive. So you can choose a monthly, quarterly, or annual plan. And if you choose annually, this comes down to $55 per month. That's a lot cheaper than a lot of unusual options order flow platforms. And I'd expect this to be a lot more expensive considering all of the features that Insider Finance includes. So the next platform I want to talk about is Option Strat. And this is a very different options trading platform. It's really focused on helping you build and optimize options trading strategies, looking at more than 50 different built-in strategies and giving you tools to customize your own options trading strategy. But it does include some tools for looking at unusual options order flow, and we'll dive into those here. This starts out with a dashboard showing you the tickers experiencing the most options activity by premiums. So this is only ranking unusually large options orders, and you can actually filter this list based on the minimum premium to include, as well as expiration dates, whether it's a buy or sell side trade, and even filtering based on stock type, so small, mid, large cap, and stocks and ETFs. Another thing I really like is you can just look for out of the money trades. Again, this is a really helpful way to look for aggressive options trades, signaling that maybe someone in an institution knows something that retail investors don't. But as you can see, this is a pretty different feed from what you're getting with something like Insider Finance. It's mostly aggregate data, and there's not a lot of extra information about, what trades or what tickers you should really be paying attention to. You can see individual trades here with the live flow feed, and this is just going to show you all unusual options orders that are coming through Option Strat's algorithm. So again, you can filter by premium, expiration date, and all of these same filters that you can use for the summary. But that's about it for Option Strat's order flow. The reason I really like this platform and would recommend considering it is because of its options strategy building tools. So Options Strat gives you more than 50 built-in options trading strategies that you can explore. I'll just show you an iron condor here to give you an example. You can pick the ticker you're interested in, the expiration date, and then move around these put and call contracts that make up this strategy and see how it's going to change the profit and loss of your strategy based on, when you exit the trade as well as the price of the underlying ticker. This is really nice because you can change kind of the range of prices you're looking at as well as the implied volatility. So by default, it's set to the current implied volatility. But if you think a stock's going to become more volatile, you can increase this. An iron condor is a neutral strategy. So in this case, it makes your trade significantly worse if implied volatility is going to go up. The other thing that OptionStrat has this optimize feature. So if you have a ticker in mind and you're looking for the best strategy for, say, Apple stock because you think it's going to go up in price, you can input some variables here, including like what expiration date, so when you think it's going to reach this price. OptionStrat will give you a few different option strategies for you to consider with different risks, different percent chances of producing a profit. And this is a really great way to kind of generate ideas and figure out the best strategy for ideas you have about underlying tickers. And so again, I don't think that OptionStrat has the best unusual options order flow, but I do think it has the best tools for taking this information and helping you build an options trading strategy based on that. Unfortunately, OptionStrat is a bit expensive. If you want access to the options flow tools, you're going to need this live flow plan, which is the most expensive at $89.99 per month or nearly $900 per year. It's quite a bit more expensive than Insider Finance. You can get access to OptionStrat's building and optimizing tools within this live tools package for $29.99 per year. Really great option. Honestly, I would consider using that plan in combination with another options order flow service. It'll come out to about the same cost as live flow, and you'll get all of the extra features of something like Insider Finance, plus all of the strategy features of Option Strat. You do just have to go back and forth between two platforms. So next I want to talk about Bullflow. This is another unusual options order flow platform that's going to be a little bit less capable than Insider Finance, but more capable than Option Strat. So if we dive into the flow feed here, we can see that it looks a lot like both of those platforms with some more similarity to Insider Finance. Again, we can see there's all the information you expect, the total value of premiums being traded, whether trades are sweep or block trades, the underlying contract strike price and expiration date, volume and open interest, and out of the money percentage here. What I like is that Bullflow provides a signal score on a scale of 0 to 1 with every trade. What I don't love about this platform is that by default, you're going to see a lot of trades that are just not that exciting. So here we can see there's a few relatively small trades, so $13,000. That's likely not reflective of institutional activity. But what I do like is that Bullflow gives you a lot of filters that you can use to quickly kind of make this feed more actionable. So the first one is this snail filter. This is going to put on more restrictive criteria for what trades show up in your real-time feed. These are generally have higher premium values. You'll see a lot more sweep trades, as well as trades with higher signal scores. It also comes with all of these toggle on, toggle off filters that you can use to quickly kind of filter that feed even more. So for example, I can look for stocks only, sweep trades only at the ask price, and with volume greater than open interest. And so now I have a list of trades in the feed that are generally going to be pretty interesting to look at. And if I want to filter Bullflow even more, it offers filters that are fully customizable. You can save to your account and use over and over again. And the best part about this is that you can filter to specific tickers. So if you have a watch list of stocks that you're interested in trading, this is a really great way to go about it. And again, you can filter using any of the other metrics available in Bullflow. So open interest, volume, sig score, out of the money percentage, and more. The thing to note about Bullflow is that it does not offer a dark pools print feed. So you're only getting information about unusual options flow here. That's not the worst thing in the world because dark pool prints can be a little bit difficult to interpret, but it is worth noting that you're getting less features than you are with something like Insider Finance or even Options Strat. Bullflow also doesn't offer any options trading tools. So if you're interested in using the data here to plan out options trades, you're not going to find options analysis tools in Bullflow. There's no list of options chains. There's no tools to help you figure out the profit and loss on a particular options trade. None of that is available here. So, where I said it would be good to pair options strats trading tools with another platform, Bullflow is a really affordable partner to use with Options Strat. You do have access to historical options flow data here, so you can pull up data from, say, the last couple days and filter that just as you would anything in the real-time feed. So you have all the same toggle on, toggle off filters here, as well as access to all your saved filters. One thing I do like about this is that you can click on a ticker in either this feed or the real-time feed and pull up a trading view chart. However, the trading view chart is going to pop up on top of your feed. So personally, I prefer to have Bullflow open on one screen and trading view open on another screen. That way I can chart while keeping one eye on options order flow data. And then I also want to show you the Bullflow dashboard here. This is a pretty simple dashboard. It gives you a one-sentence overview of what's happening in the market, a tracker for put-call ratio, as well as details about particular contracts experiencing the most unusual volume and particular tickers experiencing the most volume across all contracts. So that can be a good way to hone in on what stocks are experiencing the most options trading in any given day. What's really great about Bullflow is that it's very affordable. This software costs $29 per month or $300 per year. That's a lot less than Insider Finance, which I thought was already one of the more affordable platforms out there. So again, this is a really good option for pairing with Options Strat or to use on its own if you're relatively new to unusual options order flow and want a budget-friendly solution to get this data, but you don't need all of the bells and whistles that go along with it with a platform like Insider Finance. Okay, so last but not least, I want to look at unusual whales. This is one of the most powerful unusual options for order flow platforms I've tested. It's comparable to Insider Finance, but it actually offers even more tools and filters and feed options to help you dive into the market and find trades that matter to you. That said, if you're new to unusual options order flow data, Unusual Whales is most likely going to be overwhelming. So I definitely recommend this platform for advanced traders only. If you're a beginner, Insider Finance or even Option Strat is going to be a much better option. So with that, let's dive into the flow feed. As you can see, this moves pretty quickly if you don't have it filtered at all. The good news is it's really easy to filter the flow feed here. I like to look at this big trades at the ask filter. This automatically looks for premiums of at least $50,000 with trades within 0.6% of the ask or 60% of the ask price. Within the feed here, you can see the ticker. All these are going to be the ask side. You can see details about the contract being traded, including the day's expiration, its bid-ask spread, and its current spot price. You can see the size of the trade and the total premium, the volume versus open interest, and as well as these tags and flags. So there's details about whether a trade is at the floor or it's a sweep trade. There's bullish and ask tags. There's also tags for stocks that have earnings this week or that are from specific countries or sectors like China. So it's a really nice way to kind of quickly dive into the feed and separate out those trades that are relevant to your strategy. The other thing to note is that there's some symbology to get used to within unusual whales. So the little stack indicates that multiple trades have been aggregated into this single line in the feed. The warning sign indicates that volume is greater than open interest. That's going to be a really nice kind of indicator that the trade is worth putting on your radar. The briefcase indicates that trades are, being used to open a position. So just getting used to the symbology can help a lot. If you want to dive into a specific ticker, just click on the little waves there, and it'll pull up a feed specifically filtered to that ticker so you can see what's going on with all of the contracts around that company. Another neat feature within Unusual Whales is this AI filter builder. You can describe a filter. So they give some examples here. You can look for opening trades executed at, the ask with a minimum premium of whatever you like, and volume is greater than open interest. And just type that in here, and Unusual Wheels will actually create the filter for you using generative AI. It's a really nice way to build filters pretty quickly. The other thing is there's tons of filtering options within this filter builder on the side of the feed here. And there's even more options if you dive into the options screener here. There's some pre-built filters across the top. So for example, unusually bullish or deep conviction calls and puts. You can also get more, sort of nitty gritty in your filters here, looking at days of open interest or volume increases, average volume over 30 days. And then of course, looking at open interest and volume, ratios. Unusual Whales also gives you a ton of different ways to look into specific contracts or specific tickers. The contract lookup page, for example, lets you dive into a specific contract that you're interested in, and you can see how volume's changing at the bid, ask, and the middle point. You can also look at the same data, looking at puts and call ratios for the underlying stock. There's also an interval flow, so looking at contract data aggregated into 5-minute periods, and a 0 days to expiration flow, so looking specifically at contracts that have 0 days remaining to expiration. It's also worth pointing out Unusual Whales does have a dark pool feed as well as a whale feed, so that just incorporates information from trades on major exchanges that are very large. There's also a cool insider trading feed. I really like this because it offers a couple neat filters. So looking, for example, at only stocks that are in the S&P 500 or only at insiders who own at least 10% of a company. It's a really nice way to filter kind of your typical insider trading feed to trades that are a little bit more relevant than what you would typically find. There's a lot more available with Unusual Whales that I'm not going to cover here, including screeners, watch lists, a trading integration with Tasty Trades, as well as built-in charts. So this is, again, a really powerful, comprehensive platform that also can be quite overwhelming if you're not used to it. It has a much steeper learning curve than the other unusual options order flow platforms I showed you. So I definitely recommend taking the time to dig into Unusual Whales resources and their pretty active community, which is really helpful for this platform. Unusual Whales, despite offering all these tools, isn't significantly more expensive than the other platforms I showed you. Looking at annual pricing here, the retail basic plan costs $36 per month, and the retail pro plan costs $54 per month. The professional plan is going to be mainly for institutional investors looking to use a whitelisted version of Unusual Whales, so I'm not going to cover that here. The retail basic plan at $36 per month billed annually is going to be more than enough for most people. You get all the features I showed you within Unusual Whales, and in fact, the only missing feature is this SPX Market Maker exposure tool, which Unusual Whales calls Periscope. This is a really neat feature, but it's also very niche, and most traders are not going to need it. You get up to 25 custom alerts, 5 options watch lists and 5 stocks watch lists, 5 custom dashboards, and 10 savable filters for every feed. Those are really the only limitations on this plan, and those come off with the Retail Pro plan for $54 per month billed annually. My recommendation, if you're interested in unusual whales, start out with the Retail Basic plan. If you run into limits and need more filters or dashboards, then you can upgrade to that Retail Pro plan. Overall, I really like Unusual Whales. It's a good alternative to consider to something like Insider Finance, especially if you want more filters, more customization options. But be prepared that this has a much steeper learning curve than Insider Finance, and it's really suited only for experienced traders. So with that, we've covered 4 unusual options order trading platforms. All of these offer really helpful feeds so that you can dig into unusual options activity in the market, as well as in most cases, large institutional trades happening in underlying stocks. It's a really powerful way to get information about what smart money is doing and trade based on that. Most of these platforms offer trials. The ones that don't have relatively inexpensive monthly plans, so you can do a 1-month test to see if it's right for you. I highly recommend digging into each of these platforms more. I also have video reviews on each of them, and you can take a look at everything that's available and decide which of these software is right for you.